Hello and welcome to SoBricks. I'm Adam and this is SoBricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Ninjago Empire Temple of Madness set. This is set number 71712. It has 810 pieces, and I paid $75 for this. This is a little bit of an older set. I don't remember specifically when this came out. It is retired. Let me see if I can get some additional information on this. So this is looking like a 2020 release. It retailed for $80 back then. I paid about that. It seems to be about what the market price is for this. This is really interesting. I don't know if I've looked at any, or at least maybe not very many, of like this era of Ninjago. It's got kind of this like digital sort of I don't know if it's cyberpunk or whatever kind of stuff going on. So it's like a little bit different than some of the other things. And I'm excited to check it out. I know like some of the characters are referred to just as like Digi-J, Digi-Cole, Digi-Lloyd, stuff like that. And they looked really interesting. So I wanted to see those. Some of their like accessories looked really cool as well. And then I wanted to check out this build. It looks like there might be a fair amount of stickers in here. But either way, I'm excited to look at this. I've done one of these kind of this size temples before. I don't know if that video ever got uploaded. It was from the like Dragon's Rising series, like one of those first waves. There was a similar kind of temple like this, where it's not like one of the huge Ninjago sets. It is kind of a play set, might have some display value, but is just kind of in this different thing there. And I don't know a ton about the lore here, so I'm just excited to look at this. The color scheme looked really cool, and I wanted to see what the build was like. So I decided to pick this up, and I'm going to look at it. So in this video, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego Ninjago Empire Temple of Madness, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. So this is a bigger set. I mean, it's not huge, but it does take some time to put together, so I wanted to talk about that. You can see we're starting kind of with the first floor, first level here, using some Technic bricks to kind of get the structure in there, have some nice feet built onto that, and then we start kind of adding some details as well as the groundwork for what will eventually kind of go on top of this. So a lot of tiling out there, but not like it's not overdone. We use some of those bigger kind of support trusses as some bigger panel pieces, those nice big triangular pieces up there. There are some stickers in this set. You can see the sheet over on the left. They are clear backed, but they work well. Put together some of the figures, and we'll keep kind of populating this lower level here. We add these railings using a clip and those kind of faucet spout type pieces, or megaphone type pieces. These kind of door areas here are really nice. Cool feature, works really well in the final thing, and they kind of interlock there. So there's two with a space in the middle, and then the other one is like in the middle and fills in that gap. We add some of the structure that will allow for some of that functionality to work, and then we work on kind of covering that up. It also has some internal details. Again, a lot of stickers, well, not a ton of stickers, but there's some stickers used at the back there, which is nice. We also build a little bit of a throne. Onto the next bag, we're going to kind of populate the next area up, which isn't going to be like completely populated, but we lay some of the groundwork for some of these side areas. This one over on the left here is going to be a kind of, well, a sushi kitchen where that tan is, which is cool. And then over on the other side is going to be something else. And we attach the roof sections here with some nice building, nice techniques for all of those, and it looks really, really good. We can continue. We're going to add on like the next level up, which you sort of build separate here. A lot of those translucent orange or like trans red, I think they're orange type elements, which are all throughout, which are really cool. This is going to connect to the sort of functionality we were building in earlier, as well as having sort of or adding a lot of the height and the verticality to this set. We do have a lot of those kind of like truss support type pieces up there, and we add that, and then we can start adorning it with some additional kind of details here, some roof pieces. This was really interesting to build, these sort of two sections that then kind of clip together and make an angle, and getting that just right was a little bit different, but really, really cool, and it looks great. We add on some of these final little details at the back using bigger panel pieces and stuff like that. Another sticker there, and then onto the rest of this, we're going to build sort of more of the details here. So this is really, really a cool area. We're working on some more kind of like roof type things. And again, there's actually kind of some upside down building, but not crazy. It's pretty straightforward. And then we build, this is for like the internal details for the sushi kitchen, as well as another like play feature function here, trapdoor style thing, which is great. Over on the other side, we add some more accessories, and we're going to build kind of an arcade tower, arcade machine type thing there, which is really cool. Nice pop of color, a little bit different looking thing. Finishing up with the last couple minifigures here, and then we're going to build sort of the front area gate kind of thing for this, which is really nice. We're also going to add all these platforms on the side, connected by some Technic beams and lift arms and things like that, with little arrow stickers on all of them. And then in front of that, we're going to add the kind of some other nice details, little kind of path there being built with tiles, and some additional kind of lanterns and dual molded pieces and different things. And that's kind of everything for this set. So really, really great, big. And now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is the Lego Ninjago Empire Temple of Madness set. This is really fun. I think it's I have a soft spot for some of the colors in here. Aesthetically, it's just something I like. There's some great play stuff in here. The build was pretty cool. Pretty happy with that, and there's a lot to look at, so we will get into this. We'll see. I'm still working on my setup for doing these videos, and I might be incorporating some other camera angles and stuff like that, so we can get a little bit better of a look at something like this that has so much height. But we will go through it as I normally do, and we'll try to cover everything, and I'll give a good or hopefully give a good kind of overview of everything. I do have more space here than in my previous spot, and I'm still figuring out where I want the camera to be and everything else, and lights, but I'm feeling pretty good about this, feeling good about where the microphone is. So anyway, we will get into this, and the first thing we will look at is the minifigures, because you do get a nice collection of minifigures here. And the first one I am going to show is this one here. So these are the Ninjago characters. I'm going to show those first. This one is Lloyd. The green there is the giveaway, as well as maybe the kind of emblem up here. This is really cool. So I don't know if this was called like Ninjago Prime or something like that. I said at the beginning when I was looking at this, it felt a little bit sort of cyberpunk to me. I'm thinking it's, maybe, but it's kind of like video game aesthetics. I think like they're maybe in a game or something like this. So this is really, really cool. In terms of accessories here, we have the video controller remote there as a hilt. So that is really good. Dual molded piece. We've seen that piece used. But I think it originates maybe from like this era, this season of Ninjago. And then we have these really nice translucent blade elements here, which come in a prepackaged thing. And then on the back, we also have kind of what I'm assuming is kind of sort of like an HP bar here and maybe an energy bar. We have kind of like a little icon there, sort of pixel art style for a ninja. And then we have this kind of status bar. And these are printed. This is an interesting piece, specialized piece, probably only in these kind of sets. Just attaches to a bar element of the same color. And then they had special kind of gear accessories here for holding the katanas on the back, as well as holding kind of that like almost like maybe holding a flag or something, but you can imagine that kind of floating above their head there. So if I take all of that off, actually, we can see more of the printing and everything, but it'll also give us a little bit of a better look at this. So it's like pauldrons, got a spot for the neck to come through. Let me see if I can just adjust my lights a little bit and see sort of more of the stuff going on here. Sometimes with white it's difficult, but kind of shoulder armor there. And then at the back we have the katanas going in kind of a cross section there and a little spot for a bar element. These are nice. All the Ninjago characters, or like the ninja characters, have these kind of bright pale green katanas. They kind of look like they would be glow in the dark. They're not, but those are cool. And then looking at the rest of Lloyd here, we got the dual molded kind of cowl and mask piece there. So the white and the green are both molded. We do have printing kind of up at the top there, which is really nice. So that is a very good piece. Looking at the face underneath, this is them with their mask, kind of has a digi sort of look to it. And we have Lloyd with kind of just a non-masked face on the back. Looking for the torso, we have the green. Again, we get a little bit of that bright pale green over here, as well as sort of in the printing. They have kind of like a harness there. They do have printing on the midsection, printing on the legs, pretty detailed here, which is nice. Back of the torso has some good detail as well. So we can see what's going on there. I think these are really good. You know, for Lego, the Lego groups kind of own intellectual property such as Ninjago, or Chima, or Nexo Knights, or Hidden Side, or recently like Dreams or something like that. They go all out, or they tend to go all out. So like this is a really nicely detailed figure, got some great accessories, and all of the figures in this set essentially are kind of up to that level. The next one is Digi J, so with the blue here, similar or same kind of thing for the health bar there, same kind of thing for the katanas and the back element. They also use a game remote controller piece for the hilt. Then it's got that really nice translucent green, or like bright green, trans bright green or something, chain link here. And on the end, they sort of have a scythe looking piece, which is really, really cool. We can pop that off and pop off the back of their armor and everything here. So let me see about getting that off. This stuff is all, the same across these different ninja characters. And then again, looking at this, we have the J with the mask on, also have an alternate face with J without a mask. Different colored arms as well there. Really good printing. There's some nice kind of like metallic details at various points on this one. Just sort of on the outside, like right there, there's little triangles on the legs too. Printing up at the top, printing on the bottom. I think, the white printing on the blue is okay. It's pretty good. It's weird because we do have it right next to molded white. So could be better, could be more opaque, but this is not the exact same design. So you can see the harness is a little bit different there for Lloyd versus Jay, or where their straps are or anything. So that is really cool. Yeah, really good detail in some of this stuff. Looking at the back, again, we got to get some metallic detailing there, or accenting there, which I really, really like. Another different design here. It does get covered up basically by the accessories, but they went ahead and did that printing there, did the alternate face, which I really, really like. So that is Digi J. And then we get one more Ninjago, like ninja character here, which is one of my more favorite ones, which is the Digi Cole. So we can see Digi Cole here. I like Cole and Zane. I think the most, not knowing about too much of the lore about the show or anything like that, but just based on like their color schemes and stuff like that. So we have Digi Cole here. Again, we use the controller hilt piece there with a bar coming out of it. Also that same kind of scythe piece up there for their accessory. Same kind of deal with the status bar and the katanas on the back. I will pop that off, and I like this torso a lot on Cole, or Digi Cole here. Let's see if I can easily get this all off. This head is a little bit stuck. Let me see here. There we go. Get those accessories off the back here. So that is good. And get this back together. Again, the headpiece is really nice, dual molded, and then the printing there for Digi Cole. The face underneath we have with the mask, we have it without the mask, with a nice expression there. Looking at the torso, it's quite a bit different. Like we have the black here, not different colored arms, but different color like hand pieces there. This has kind of a more of a body armor looking, or like plate area there, but it's almost got this between these kind of metallic silvery gray colors. There's almost like sort of a I don't know what they call it. Like there's like a digital sort of camo type pattern that this sort of has there, which is really nice. Printing these colors on black worked out really well. We do have the printing on the midsection, printing on the legs as well. And then at the back of that, we don't have kind of that same cool little accents there, or that kind of digital camo type design on the back. I maybe would have liked to see that, but this is good as well. And of course, it does get covered up if one is to have this with all of their gear attached. So those are the three kind of Ninjago main characters. And then we also have some adversaries, or some opponents, or some baddies for the kind of game world here. So I imagine these are sort of like playable characters, and these are sort of the enemies here, and we will go through those. The first one is just a red visor. I think these are like a sort of like an infantry or grunt, like they're non-specific, non-specified name. There might be a bunch of these. Just as a shield piece here, just blank, no stickers on that or anything. We do have the little blaster there, and this one has the same kind of back piece here, using black instead of white, and then using red instead of that pale green color for the katanas. Whoops, I just lost an important part of this red visor figure, which is the red visor. I think, I don't know if this is just like trans orange or trans red specifically. It kind of looks to me like old trans orange that you would get in some of the old like deep sea underwater hydronaut type things. We have the status bar here with a different kind of emblem there. It kind of looks like a skull, so maybe indicating that these are bad guys. All of the bars here over on the right, whereas all the Ninjago ones they're only filled up like 3 out of 4. So that's something there. And then they have the visor. If this is kind of the astronaut style visor on a typical helmet there, which is nice. I will pop off all the accessories so we can see the rest of this here. The figure for the red visor has like two faces, um, but I'm not sure which one's which. So one of them here, we kind of have this almost feels a little bit like Squid Gamey, even though this set's from 2020. But that's what it reminded me of there. So we have that face. We have another one which I think looks more clearly as a face. There's a little bit of a mouth and some eyes and stuff going on there. Good details throughout that. I do like this one a lot as well. They almost look kind of like they're just a drone or like sort of a robot without maybe the ability to talk or something like that. So I like that face there. They're both pretty good. Looking at the torso, really good printing. This matches up really nice across the for the robes that they're wearing, kind of down through the midsection onto the legs. Same over here. Printing on black is tough, and I don't believe this is all supposed to be white. If it is, then that's kind of a problem, but I'm not sure that it is. And because we don't have a ton of other like bright white molded plastic accents, if it doesn't like stand out as much. We have kind of a emblem up here with a 404 in there. It's probably hard to see on this video, but there it says a 404, which is a common error code. If you're, if you know, you know. And yeah, I really like all the red kind of like splatter type stuff up here, printing on the midsection, printing on the legs, all the way down to the feet, which is great. The back of the torso, maybe this is more clear, but really good kind of armor design there. Also has the 404 kind of in the middle, a little bit bigger. So that is really nice. I'm actually going to just leave their accessories off of them for now to get through this a little more. The next one, I was excited about this one. This one is sushimi, almost like sashimi or stuff like that. This is, I guess, kind of maybe a mini boss type deal. It's a named character, and they are like an evil sushi chef, which is really cool. Same kind of thing here, but this one does have the white kind of back piece there with the red katanas and the orange or red kind of status bar there. And I'm going to pop this off so we can see the rest of this. For whatever reason, these heads are difficult to get off right now. And this character is really cool. I'm not thrilled about some of it, but they have a couple like cleavers or butcher knife type things here for making sushi, I presume. And they are wearing a like bandana up there, and maybe they're bald. That is a separate piece. It is dual molded, and that just goes over the stud on the head. But when you take that off, you actually get to see they have some bushy eyebrows here, and it changes the expression a little bit. No printing on the back. Looking at the torso, this is the big problem with this, is that I believe they're wearing kind of a tank top there. It's got some stains on it. Same for their stuff down here. But that tank top, I believe, is supposed to be white, and it is just not. It's sort of pink ish. You can see kind of like chest hair or body hair kind of up through there, which is nice. And yeah, just like splashes on there. Do have like the tie around the waist. That's all good. But when you compare the white up here to the white of the like legs, the molded white, or even the white of their kind of armor and accessory holder thing, it really, really stands out. So the opacity for that is just not up to par. I know they can do better, but that is what it is. Again, printing on the midsection, printing on the legs. None of these have printing on the arms. At least I don't think so. And then looking at the back, the back is really cool too. Kind of has like a fishbone type thing there, but just the color for this does not match the legs, and so it looks kind of off there. So that could have been done a bit better. But I think this is an interesting character. Like the little kind of stains and different things on their outfit is a nice touch, and I think they're fun there. We have a couple other, one other character specifically, which is Unagami here. And I believe this is kind of like the big bad, the final boss of the season, perhaps. So they have a different type accessory here, using that kind of gunmetal gray hilt, the translucent orange sort of bar element, and this nice piece up here, which is really cool. And this is a great character. The other thing they have is these kind of orange translucent energy discs down there, so to make them appear sort of as they're levitating or something. So this is really, really great. Awesome hairpiece. I believe this is dual molded here. So we kind of have the hair sort of tied up into this sort of samurai style there and pulled back. I think that's really good. You can see that it's dual molded when you take that off. Really cool beard here, as well as different armor. They don't have like katanas that go on the back or anything. So different kind of shoulder armor there. I like the color scheme of this a lot. If I take off the beard and the armor, we can see more of this. So really detailed face here. The black on red there kind of has like a Darth Maul sort of vibe to it. And then we have another face here, which has a slightly different expression, a little more color to it, some different stuff in there, kind of some of that teal looking color in there as well. So alternate faces there. Torso, really fine detail. I like the pattern for this as well. So it's a lot of the on black, but it's like that sand blue, green, teal kind of color, and some of the red throughout there with some nice little dots and different stuff. This feels really, really good. No printing on the arms, no midsection because it is on kind of the dress piece, but looking at the back, printing up here and printing on the back of the dress piece, which they don't always do, which is really, really nice to see. Quality of that print is quite good. So overall, I think this is an excellent figure, and I'm really, really pleased with it. I think, Ninjago, historically, in my opinion, they've done really, really well with minifigures, giving us detailed minifigures, varied minifigures, and lots of stuff. The other thing that we have here is kind of a character, kind of not. That is this, which is supposed to be like a evil sushi roll, I believe. So this is a printed tile, and I think it's supposed to be like rice essentially there, and different stuff. But it kind of looks like a teeth and a mouth and an eye kind of in the middle. This one does have like arms and is holding a katana there. So this could be flying around and attacking and whatever else. And then those are the mini figures there. Really, really good, really detailed. And I think the production on Shushimi could have been better, but otherwise, I think these are all quite good. And then we have the Temple of Madness, the Empire Temple of Madness. I think this is supposed to be kind of a platformy boss level type game, and there's some nice stuff in here. I think there's an attempt to kind of make this I don't know, some of the angles in here down to the bottom are kind of interesting, but like this area up front is kind of its own separate thing. There was things for this season of Ninjago that these were katanas, so they're like keys. So you get 3 of them here, you get 3 colors. So this one, they're dual molded with the white and then like the trans pink there. They kind of have look like a sawtooth type element up here. Maybe that's difficult. There we go. Easier to see that, and some nice kind of molded in details. These are supposed to be kind of key pieces there. We also get a green one here, and we also get the orange one here. So those are the katanas. They can be used for interesting things throughout this, and there's sort of a natural or implied kind of progression to play and potentially display here, but I just wanted to talk about the builds. So we actually start by building, the main core of the bottom, and this is a sizable model. It's got kind of 2 main levels, but sort of 3, potentially 4, depending on how you look at it. And I think that's really, really cool. There's some good building techniques in here. So I'm actually going to flip this around and try to do this as best I can, because the first thing that you build here is kind of this back area and this bottom. So we're going to lose some pieces. We use some Technic bricks down here, have these kind of all up on a stand using those kind of cone type pieces there, and now a accessory fell into my keyboard a little bit. Whoops. We have this fall off, and that's okay. So we build the like main platform there, and we lay the groundwork. We use these kind of bigger kind of truss or support beam pieces. There's 4 of them on this level, as well as 4 in the front. We also use just some brick building on the side throughout here, and there's some internal details here. This is, I guess, supposed to be kind of, maybe this is a spoiler, but this is sort of the throne room boss area. This is the throne right here, and that spins around in there. And there's not like a ton of room in there. There is some good like tiled out stuff, some little details on the ground. We can put Unagami in there, and they're not studded down, but they feel pretty stable, I would say. Not too bad. I'm holding it at an angle. If this was flat on the ground, that wouldn't be a big problem. There are stickers in this set. You can see some of them here, so I'm going to take them out, and we can kind of look at some of the other details inside here. So we got the throne, which is, built nicely. We have these panels here, which are like little monitors that Unagami can watch some of the other games going on or what some of the other ninjas are in. So these 4 are all stickers. We also have some stickers here for some monitors kind of saying game older, and I'll show what that all does or kind of ends up looking like at the end. So not a ton of space there, but that is cool, and that's kind of how you start the build. You work your way up. Again, we have Technic up here, like Technic bricks and different things. There is some like functionality in this, so we build that as well. Looking at the next level up, we start to get to like this really nice architecture kind of roof area there with some upside down building, or these pieces, which are just like 2x2 plates with the Technic pinhole on like both sides. Those really work for the kind of roof for this, in my opinion. You can see up here we got like nice little tiled out decorations as well. A couple more stickers on the front. So the one down here is a sticker, up here is a sticker. Up on this level, like the way that we attach some of these sub-assemblies for the roof are really nice. This part was super interesting to me, and there's a lot of like asymmetry and different things going on to achieve that and get this angle just right. I'm really happy with how this came together. So that looks kind of great. It has a very sort of menacing look throughout this. Color scheme really works for me. So that's cool. And there's some sort of playable elements up on this level as well. There's other little details. We got like little lanterns up here and in the front as well. Some like railing up here. There, and I'll talk about these because you kind of add these at the end, but I think they're sort of important to the display and the play of this. You can see we have these like Technic beams or like lift arms on the right and left side, using the also translucent red or that trans orange throughout there for the circular pieces inside. These all have stickers on them that have arrows. So like this one's pointing back kind of to this platform. This platform has an arrow going out, then this one has it going in, and this one has it going in. So that might be sort of the path a character might take to play on this level. And we have kind of the mirrored version over here on the other side. These are just tiles with stickers, so there's not a place to like stud a character down on these. You probably could get them to stand there. It just might be a little bit precarious, and they might be prone to falling off. So that's really good. And the idea would be that, we come up to this giant kind of castle temple layer here, and then we would kind of progress up the side. So on one of the sides over here, once we get up here, we have something really cool. So there's some area here. We have a arcade machine build, which is really economical. Nice colors, nice change of pace. Sticker for the screen. It does look to be like a sort of fourth wall breaking thing here, where the game that is on this appears to be like this level, the game that our characters are in. So that's kind of meta, kind of interesting, because we have like what looks like J there, and then this is sort of like pixel art of those like sushi roll monster things there. So we have that, and then kind of it looks like a sort of Mario type platform there. We also have another kind of assortment of weaponry here, using white hilts and those trans green kind of scimitar type blades or katana type blades with the smaller handle. So we got some extra accessories there we can access. There is room up here for characters to stand. We got the lantern up there as well. If you went on the other side, this is kind of interesting. This is where like the Shushimi character might occupy. This is supposed to be a sort of evil sushi kitchen type thing here. So we got some little details in there for different pieces of equipment. These are Harry Potter wand pieces that I think are supposed to be like chopsticks or something like that. Use a ice skate piece in there, printed tile in there, but there's something interesting. So we have this kind of little element here. Now, one of the things you can do is use one of these katanas to go in there. These things fit in like a Technic axle type receiver there. So we can open this and close this. This is a nice little build, and we have more of these sushi monsters. Same print, but they kind of act like little barrels in there, feeling very video gamey. And this is done nice. They sit in there well. If we were to turn this, one drops out, and the other one, when this kind of comes back down, can go down to the next level there. So I was pretty happy with how that functioned. And so we can kind of see that time it didn't go down. But if you do it, hard enough by turning these or actuating these instead of just letting like gravity do it. Actually, if gravity does it, maybe that works. So that is really cool up there. Cool to get more of these prints, more of these kind of sushi monster things. A little bit of use for a katana there. And there's not as much space over here, but that's okay. And then working our way up, we have some different stuff. Again, I really like the details for the builds, the color choices for different things, how we've done the tile. This subassembly for these two parts of the roof are really, really great. And then we work up to the kind of final level up, or final level. This might be kind of a boss level, final level type thing. But if we look up at the top, we use some of these, which I kind of think of as, they could be like helicopter blades or different things. They've used these pieces, I believe, as like weapons for bigger mechs and different things like that. We also have a sort of scoreboard type thing that is a sticker. So we got Unagami on the top, Will, Jay, and Manovi, which I don't know who that is or what that is, but kind of a scoreboard up there. And this is kind of the final area that to be accessed. One of the things I don't really like is that these are attached with Technic on the back here, and I found that it was really easy for them to like fall down, which I don't think is intended, unless it's supposed to be like, oh, look out, they might like chop someone as they're coming up here. I don't know if that's an intended feature or not. It doesn't really appear that way to me. I'm not seeing that kind of indicated on the box or anything. I suppose it could be a little imagination. We can have that fall down as a character is maybe climbing up to try to get them. The little bit of blue you see at various spots isn't ideal, but it is what it is. It's just these don't, they're supposed to have, I think, the normal amount of friction there, but they have slightly less than I would have liked. So I don't know if it's a production thing or what. And up on this level, it's a lot smaller, but packed in little building here. Do have studs to put someone down. It is nicely tiled out. Again, really nice kind of roof build there with the lantern accessories. So I like all of that. And again, we have this sort of Technic piece here, which is another sort of slot for a katana to go in. And actually the orange one sort of sits there because there's a function besides the little trap door over here. There's a function from something up there that goes all the way down to the bottom, which you may have already seen. So we can see we have these nice kind of joint pieces to get that axle at an angle, because we do have to shift it a little bit. And there's kind of a mechanism through here, which I would be happy to show. So if I turn this and go like that, the Kitana is up here. If I turn the Kitana and you look down here, we have kind of the force field, and it sort of can open like that. Now, it's a little bit hard to see perhaps, just because of the way I'm holding this and the way I'm doing this, but we can close that up, open that up, and then it says game over. And Unagami might be in the kind of seat here waiting. So the characters might have to fight their way up the side of this, traverse these platforms, this area, fight Shushimi, fight the red visor or something like that, make it up to the top and either insert a Kitana up here, or find the one that's up there and activate it, which will reveal the kind of, or open the force field there. Excuse me. I like how these sort of interact with each other kind of there. There's some other building that has a similar thing to it that I appreciate. And so like building these sections were a little bit different. And I think they open really, really nicely, and they close really, really nicely. It doesn't take a whole lot to open them. It's a very smooth, you can open it really fast, open it, you can open it potentially slower. But I think that is all really good. The mechanism all kind of takes place underneath here. It's hidden pretty well, so you don't see a ton of it. The other thing I forgot to mention is there behind these weapons, here there's that crate piece, or like a garbage can or refuse bin or something that is intended to be a spot for more of these accessories to sit in, so characters can have access to those. Let me see, I think I'm missing one, but it's right here. So these kind of pieces would sit in here for the Ninjago characters to maybe restock their supplies, or get something there. As you can tell, it's not the easiest to access. Maybe it's easier for me if I pull it out of here, but even that's somewhat difficult, and it's going to be difficult for me to get that back in just with my size hands. But we have a couple of different accessories. These accessories all come in like a prepackaged bag, and it does use all of them either for the minifigure accessories or some other little things like this in the set itself, which is cool. And actually that wasn't that bad getting those back in there. So that's kind of everything here. And then we have that kind of entranceway area that fell off. Actually, interesting, it uses these I don't know if these are like a Star Wars piece that sometimes a character will hold on to, but it has these like 2 bar pieces here, and they clip to something. And we've got these pillars with the kind of lanterns up there, or the lights. We see the level indicator there. That is a sticker. And then we have kind of this tiled path. And I think, this is supposed to be sort of like be forced perspective. This does clip on the front, and it's hard for me to show unless I really changed my camera angle, but I think this is supposed to be like, an entry gate that then there's maybe a mountain or some sort of distance to get up to this, but it could not be. It could just be that this is sort of the ground floor here. So that is kind of its own little separate thing. The thing about these kind of hinges or this kind of connection is it's not like super strong, but that's okay. I really like how this is tiled out. Again, I really like the color scheme. We can put the Kitanas in here, and then we have, if I pop this out again, kind of corresponding colors for those brick pieces there, which are kind of where they might live, which is really cool. And that's sort of everything that's in this set. So the idea would be, you can play through sort of these levels and interact with some of the opponents or the adversaries, and have some fights and have some battles, and then, get to the top and open up the force field there. And Umagami's sort of the boss battle, and that could go on all throughout different places there. I think this is a nice play thing. I also think it's like a really good looking model here. There's not a ton of pieces, but this has some real size to it. Of course, we cheat a little bit with the height. We do use some of these truss or like support type pieces there throughout, which helps give it some of that verticality. It's not especially wide, but again, because we have sort of this technic elements going on here for these platforms, it does give it a bigger silhouette. I mean, I could see somebody saying that this is like not super dense building. There is empty space. I think that's sort of intended, and I think it also makes sense for what this is kind of representing. I think the space that is here is used well. You know, you got the throne room with the monitors and the throne and the force field stuff. We have a little arcade area over here, which is great. We got the sushi kitchen over there, as well as the trap door. And then we have the sort of roof area with the scoreboard that's sort of looming over the whole game space area. So I actually think they use the space pretty well, all things considered. So I like that a lot. There's places for minifigures to stand, not a ton of them. I think at this point they didn't have those like clear bar element pieces that minifigures in like superhero sets would hold on to kind of like pose around a thing. But that there's potential there. There are things that can be either studded down or gripped onto. Not a ton of them, but you know, a little imagination will work. A minifigure hand can grip, for example, these support beams there. Is a little like piece usage note. We use like the paint roller piece for a lot of the kind of lantern things here, so we use it down there as well as up here, which is nice. Not a ton of other like crazy piece usages, but the build ultimately I thought was really good, and even a little bit unexpected, just how we did some of the roof stuff here, how these get clipped on, and how we get things to kind of interconnect, to interlock, to make it all work, which has some nice like asymmetry building in that. I think the building for the hinges for the force field area are really nice, so that is good. I'll show the sticker sheet. I think I pointed them all out. You know, a lot of these are the platforms here, so there's 4 on either side. There's the level sticker there, the one on the bigger panel here, the one in there, the one up at the scoreboard, and then there's the 4 on the back for the screens, as well as inside for the game over, and then the arcade game thing there. And then also these kind of pieces, these are like a black triangle brick, slope brick, a bigger piece there, similar to the ones down here, but we do put a red sticker on both of those. I think this is really good, really fun, big and cool. As a retired set, I like the color scheme a lot. I think, you know, in terms of the Ninjago seasons, like I say, I'm not very knowledgeable about the lore or anything like that. The Dragons Rising stuff I thought was cool, and as I like go back and look at other Ninjago stuff, I see different things that I think, you know, either the creators or the writers or the Lego group themselves or whoever makes kind of the decisions on where a season might go, and then what sort of toys might be there and what sort of characters might be there. I think this one's probably one that I would enjoy more than some other ones, but they've done like lots of cool stuff here, and I just think like the whole video game area type thing is a classic sort of sci-fi type situation and concept, and I think they executed it pretty well. So I'm happy with everything I have here. It just feels good. The minifigures are very high quality, I would say, except for the Shushimi torso. The build itself was very good. This is like a nice looking thing in my opinion. The color scheme just speaks to me, and the build was exciting and different, and it's a great looking model. I could see people having this, playing with it, having this on a shelf, whatever. I don't know if everything else that was like from this season, from this era of Ninjago is kind of like this, or what else there is, but I'd be curious to go back and look. I want to say it's called Ninjago Prime, but I could be wrong about that. I'll show the extra pieces. You do get a fair bit of extra pieces here, and interestingly enough, you get a bunch of the katanas, so that kind of bright pale green katana. You get 3 extras of those. You also get 2 of the red ones, a couple other things in here. Your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, the ice skate. There is the printed tile, which is used for the sashimi restaurant kitchen type thing, bar elements, hilt elements, clips, tiles, slopes, studs, all of that good stuff. But I think the katanas in these nice colors are probably the biggest thing that I think is cool for this. And I dropped a piece, but that's what I would expect for extra pieces there. And let me grab that. And whoops. And this set is 810 pieces. It retailed for $80 in 2020. So not too long ago, but every day it's further away. And so 5 years ago, 800 pieces for $80 seems about right in terms of a price per piece. There are some bigger pieces in here. So like these kind of triangular brick elements there are big. There's dual molded elements and stuff. There's the bigger pieces up here, bigger Technic bricks. I don't know. There is like a nice variety. Of course, there's a lot of extra pieces, so there's a lot of little pieces, but there's also a lot of like good size pieces in this. The overall kind of like visual weight of this and the impact of this, the space that this takes up in its ultimate form, even if it's a little bit quote unquote empty, like it is substantial. So that feels pretty good. And then you get 6 minifigures, which have cool accessories and printed stuff and printed all the way through, and dual molded head pieces or hair pieces or mask pieces. I mean, I think the Shushimi torso could be a lot better, but the rest of this is all like very, very good, very well done, and tons of opportunity here. I really like Unagami as a character. I like this hair piece a lot. So that is really, really cool. And, you know, the Ninjago characters themselves, you got the game controllers, you got the translucent elements and all of this wonderful stuff that I think is presented really well here. And there's certainly like value in that. I don't know if these characters are particularly valuable in the secondary market or anything like that, or if these versions of the Ninjago characters are, but they might be. But I think, you know, this is a nice assortment of figures, as well as the sushi and the printed pieces along with that, which I think is very funny, very cool. Evil sushi, which I like. Reminds me of an old 80s horror movie, or 90s. I think it's late 80s, super low budget, that had kind of a whole sushi thing going on in it, which was very funny. Anyway, this sort of kind of rules in my opinion. You know, $80 doesn't feel too out of the ordinary. I paid $75 for this, which is about the same as it retailed for. This is retired. I did get this when it was sealed. So, but I don't think this set is particularly valuable, even in sealed. I think like 70, 75, 80 is about the going rate. So it hasn't, you know, inflated a bunch since it's retired. I think that's a good deal. I think if this set released today, it might be more expensive. I don't know if it would push up to the $100 mark, but it's not unheard of for Lego to do something like that. So maybe this could be closing in on 100 in 2025. I'm not 100% sure, but I felt good about the price that I paid for this, so I'm really happy with that. It was fun to build. It was fun to talk about. A lot of great stuff here. So I am very pleased with this. I like this a lot, and I think that's it for this one. Long one, but very, very cool. So nice. And yeah, I think that's good. So I like it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Ninjago, older stuff, retired stuff, new stuff. As of recording this, it is August 1st, 2025, so there's a ton of new sets coming out. I've already covered all the Speed Champions, but a lot of other new sets that are releasing that I'm going to talk about. I have a backlog of sets, older sets, new sets, gift with purchases, different things like that. So if you're interested in my other videos, maybe subscribe. That helps me a lot, means a lot to me. If you want to support the channel in a different way, you can do that. There's membership, supers, and thanks. There's also a Patreon, the patreon.com/SoBricks. It's in the video description on my channel page. All that stuff really helps. Every little bit helps. There's a buy me a coffee link. There's also affiliate links. I don't know if this one's available on the major online retailer that I have affiliate links for, but there'll be other stuff down there. You can click one of those links. And even if you were going to buy like a set of pens or a pocket knife or, anything else, you through that affiliate link, I might get a small percentage, 1 to 3% of that sale as a commission, which, isn't a lot, but it does help. It's no additional cost to you. It just helps me, which I appreciate. So maybe consider using those, means a lot. And I think that's it. So with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.